Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Smackdown review. Smackdown tonight was from the Pechanga Arena in San Diego, California, and Smackdown just ended, and I thought the show tonight was okay, in my opinion. Wasn't great or perfect by any means, though, but last week's Smackdown I did not review because it was an absolutely horrible show. And even, from last week's show, I'm like, SmackDown needs to go back to 2 hours. And they said it would probably go back to 2 hours when we get to maybe like the summertime. So this is a test for SmackDown, like how the show would do with 3 hours. And just by the third week, which is tonight, the show just needs to go back to 2 hours because even though it was an okay show, just, the pacing of the show just felt boring, in my opinion. But tonight on the show, we had Naomi and Bianca Belair. They ended up taking on Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. We had Jimmy Uso in action, and he ended up taking on Carmelo Hayes. We had the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. They ended up taking on Los Garza, Angel Garza, and Humberto Carrillo. You had Piper Niven. She ended up taking on B-Fab. Why was this a match tonight? Then we had Kevin Owens. He ended up taking on Rey Mysterio in his hometown. And the main event, we had the Women's Championship on the line. Tiffany Stratton defend the title against Bayley. But that was SmackDown tonight. Overall, okay show it was. But like I said, the pacing of the show, it just feels boring. It feels like, a 3-hour show. Like what we got when Monday Night Raw was 3 hours. And you had filler, for the show. That's how it feels like, but SmackDown needs to go back to 2 hours. It really does. But anyway, let's jump right into the review. SmackDown opened up tonight with Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio ended up coming out. This was in his hometown of San Diego. And he got in the ring. And he got on the mic. He ended up welcoming everyone to SmackDown. Rey ended up saying that it is great to be back home in front of his people and also his daughter. To which, of course, Rey's family was sitting at ringside. So Rey ended up saying that he wanted to reminisce as he gets ready to do the impossible again. So Rey then ended up announcing that he will be in the Royal Rumble match. And this has the potential to be one of the best Royal Rumble matches in a while, just by how stacked the men's Rumble is going to be. So Rey ended up saying that it takes him back to 2006, when he entered the Royal Rumble at number 2, and he became the winner of the Royal Rumble that year. And what a moment that was. I remember watching that and just Rey Mysterio just winning that year's Rumble, since he entered at number 2, was just a awesome, great moment. And originally, from what I heard, the winner of the 2006 Royal Rumble was originally going to be Eddie Guerrero. Like, if Eddie Guerrero didn't pass away, that would have been his win. But of course, Eddie Guerrero passed away, and they gave the Royal Rumble win to Rey Mysterio, which Rey, of course, was one of Eddie Guerrero's best friends. So they made the right decision in 2006 by having Rey win the Royal Rumble. So Rey ended up talking about how he went on to main event WrestleMania, and he became the World Heavyweight Champion. he ended up saying that he won't lie. He will be realistic, as competition is heavy this year. And he starts naming the competitors in the Rumble match, just by how stacked it is. We have Drew McIntyre. We have CM Punk. We have Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and John Cena. So Ray ended up saying that it will be tough. But when he won in 2006, he did it for a friend that we all know very well. Of course, that would be Eddie Guerrero. So Rey Mysterio got interrupted by Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens ended up coming out. He still had the Winged Eagle belt in hand. Kevin Owens ended up apologizing for interrupting Ray. And of course, the fans booed Owens. Owens ended up saying he had to come out because he heard Ray talk about how he was going to win the Rumble. Owens then ended up going on to say that he respects Ray a lot, saying that there is no one in this industry that he respects as much as him. Owens ended up saying that he has had a great career, and he main evented WrestleMania with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he won the tag team titles with his then best friend at WrestleMania, in the WrestleMania main event. And now he gets to stand here with the Winged Eagle belt. And he ended up saying that when he was a kid, this was the belt that he saw all of his idols win. Of course, the Winged Eagle belt is absolutely, famous. Won by a lot of greats, Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin, of course, who was the last one to hold it. So Kevin Owens ended up saying that the belt that he dreamed of winning. And now he stands as the true, rightful WWE champion. He ended up saying that there is one thing left to accomplish for him, to feel like his career is complete. And that is to step in the ring and have a one-on-one match against Rey Mysterio. So Owens slowly got into the ring. He ended up saying that he hopes Rey does win the Royal Rumble. He then ended up telling Rey that he has to promise him, after winning the Rumble, that he will be the champion, that he will pick to have a match against at WrestleMania. So Rey ended up saying that he is all about challenges and that he loves competition, but Owens is not the champion. Rey ended up saying that he means that with all the respect. He ended up saying that Cody is the champion. Rey ended up saying that if he wins the Rumble and Owens wins, he would be more than happy to face him for the title. So Owens yelled at Rey. He ended up telling Rey that I am the champion and I deserved the title. So Owens ended up asking Rey if Cody has him brainwashed too. So Rey ended up telling Owens, are you acting delusional? He ended up telling Owens, oh, you remind me of my son, Dominic. So Kevin Owens ended up going for a right hand. Rey then ended up going for a right hand. Rey then tripped Owens up, but Owens ended up rolling to the outside. And pretty much that was basically how the segment ended. But overall, it was a decent segment to open SmackDown here. Just Rey coming out there, announcing that he is going to be in the Royal Rumble match. So, but more and more, this men's Royal Rumble is being more stacked. You got Rey Mysterio. You have Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and also John Cena. This is going to be one hell of a men's Royal Rumble match on February 1st. And then we saw Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair was backstage with Naomi. And Naomi ended up telling Bianca that she has no update from Nick Aldis as to who attacked Jade Cargill. They're still going along with this, who attacked Jade Cargill, storyline. So Bianca ended up talking about her and Naomi's match tonight and how they are still the women's tag team champions. So Naomi ended up jokingly telling Bianca that she should tie her braid up to avoid another accident like what happened last week. Bianca then tied her hair up, and both her and Naomi end up walking down to the ring. And pretty much SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, Nick Aldis was with Rey Mysterio. He ended up telling Rey that he will give him what he wants, and that he will have Kevin Owens one-on-one later on in the night. So there you go. The match was booked for later tonight. So Cody Rhodes came out of the trainer's room, and Cody ended up apologizing to Rey for not being able to be out there tonight. Rey ended up telling Cody to rest up, and he will take care of Kevin Owens by himself. So Cody then wished Rey good luck, and Rey ended up walking off. Cody then turned his attention to Nick Aldis. He ended up telling Aldis that he is healed up, and Nick Aldis ended up telling Cody that he believes him, but there's still a lot of time until the Royal Rumble. So Nick Aldis ended up telling Cody if he wants him to sign the contract to avoid a repeat of Saturday night's main event. So Cody ended up telling Nick Aldis that he will sign it when Kevin Owens signs the contract. Pretty much that was basically that. And then we had Bianca Belair and Naomi. They ended up taking on Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. And this was the first match of the night. And this was a decent women's match here. Decent women's tag team match. And Naomi and Nia Jax end up going at it, a few weeks back. And Naomi ended up bringing Nia Jax to a pretty decent match. And that's how it was shown here. I think Naomi and Nia Jax work really well together. They have chemistry. So the match got underway. Nia Jax delivered a cheap shot onto Naomi from behind. Candice LeRae ended up pinning Bianca from behind. So Nia Jax and Bianca Belair start off the match. Nia Jax delivered a headbutt to Bianca. Nia then tagged Candice in, but Bianca delivered a vertical suplex to Candice. Bianca then delivered some right hands onto Candice in the corner. So in came Nia Jax, and Bianca ended up jumping out of the way. We had Bianca end up drop kicking Nia to the outside. Bianca then ended up going back to work on Candice LeRae, and Bianca ended up gorilla pressing Candice over the top rope, and she threw Candice onto Nia Jax, who was outside of the ring. Bianca ended up going to the outside, and she ended up throwing Candice back into the ring. Nia then held Bianca's leg as she was getting back into the ring. So this led to Candice, delivering a kick to Bianca. Candice then stomped on Bianca in the ring and tagged Nia Jax into the match. Nia then clotheslined Bianca to the outside of the ring, and Candice tagged in. Candice started stomping on Bianca on the outside. She slammed Bianca face first into the ring post. She ended up going for the cover, and Bianca ended up kicking out. We had Candice end up going for a splash onto Bianca, but Bianca moved out of the way. Bianca went for the tag, but Nia ended up tripping Naomi off the ring apron. Candice then delivered a kick to Bianca's face, and she tagged Nia into the match. Nia came in, delivered a Samoan drop to Bianca. Nia ended up going for a splash in the corner, but Bianca delivered a kick to Nia. We had Bianca tagging in Naomi, and we had Naomi ended up delivering a kick to Nia in the face. She followed up with a face buster. Naomi ended up going for the cover, and Nia Jax ended up kicking out. Naomi ended up delivering the split-leg moonsault onto Nia, and Naomi ended up going for the cover. Candice broke up the pin. We had Nia end up hitting a headbutt onto Bianca, and she delivered a Samoan drop to Naomi. Nia ended up going to the ropes. Candice ended up taking herself in. Bianca then speared Nia, which Bianca was unaware that Candice was now the legal competitor in this part of the match. Candice then delivered a dropkick onto Bianca, followed up by a senton. Nia then delivered a senton. Candice ended up going for the cover, but Bianca ended up kicking out. We had Nia Jax ended up going for a leg drop onto Bianca. Bianca moved out of the way, and Nia accidentally delivered a leg drop onto her own tag team partner, Candice. Bianca then threw Nia to the outside. Naomi ended up tagging in, and she landed the Bubba Bomb onto Candice. Naomi ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Bianca Belair and Naomi, the Women's Tag Team Champions, ended up winning the match. Overall, decent Women's Tag Team match here, in my opinion. Like I said, Naomi could, get Nia Jax to a decent matchup when they are in the ring. They have good chemistry together. And then, as SmackDown came back from the commercial, Byron Saxton was interviewing Bayley. This was done earlier in the day. Bayley ended up telling Byron Saxton that they all dream about being in the main event on SmackDown. And this night is huge for them. Of course, Byron was mentioning, to Bayley about her Women's Championship match against Tiffany Stratton. And Bayley saying that this is a huge night for, her and Tiffany Stratton. Bayley ended up saying that this time last year, she won the Royal Rumble. And she went on to WrestleMania. She ended up saying that she doesn't know if she fulfilled her potential during her last title reign. And that she's a perfectionist. And we had Bayley telling Byron that we saw what Tiffany Stratton can do. And she is willing to turn on her best friend even. Bayley ended up saying tonight for her, it's personal. And pretty much that was basically that. Byron Saxton ended up wishing Bayley good luck in the match. But, decent interview with Bayley. And then we saw Michin and B-Fab. Michin ended up saying to B-Fab that Women's United States Championship should have been hers. So in came Piper Niven. Piper Niven acting like a Secret Service agent. So she had telling Chelsea that no threats detected. She's being like a Secret Service agent where she's wearing the glasses and she goes, "Oh, everything is good here. There are no threats detected. You may come in, Chelsea." So Chelsea Green ended up coming in. She ended up provoking Michin. B-Fab ended up telling Chelsea that had it not been for her mall cop in Piper Niven, she would not be the champion. So Piper ended up telling B-Fab not to take another step. B-Fab ended up telling Piper Niven and Chelsea Green that she will talk to Nick Aldis and handle things for tonight. So pretty much that was basically that. And the match took place later on. What a useless match. And then we had Jimmy Uso versus Carmelo Hayes. We had Jimmy Uso making his way out. Carmelo Hayes then came out. Carmelo Hayes ended up getting on the ring apron. He cut a promo before the match got underway. Carmelo Hayes ended up telling Jimmy that he is living in Jay's shadow, who is also living in Roman's shadow. So this led to Jimmy flipping Carmelo Hayes over the top rope and into the ring. The bell got underway, and Jimmy ended up wearing Carmelo's sunglasses, which fell off. He ended up hitting Carmelo with right hands. Jimmy ended up going for a super kick, but Carmelo ended up rolling to the outside of the ring. And the match it was a good match here between Jimmy and Carmelo. So as Carmelo was getting back into the ring, Jimmy ended up grabbing Carmelo, but Carmelo ended up hanging Jimmy up on the top rope. Carmelo Hayes ended up delivering some chops to Jimmy's chest, and he followed up with some right hands. Carmelo ended up going to the ropes, but Jimmy ended up throwing Carmelo down onto the canvas. Jimmy ended up going for the running hip attack, but Carmelo Hayes moved out of the way. Hayes was on the ring apron, but Jimmy then delivered a right hand to Carmelo Hayes. Jimmy then suplexed Carmelo onto the ring apron. Jimmy then got back to the ring, and he landed a suicide dive to Carmelo Hayes. A nice suicide dive by Jimmy there. So then SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, we saw both Jimmy and Carmelo Hayes. They were fighting on the second rope. Jimmy delivered a elbow to Carmelo Hayes, to which Carmelo Hayes fell down to the canvas. Jimmy ended up going for a spinning back elbow, but Carmelo Hayes ended up moving out of the way. Hayes delivered a springboard reverse DDT to Jimmy. He ended up going for the cover, but Jimmy ended up kicking out. Hayes ended up going to the ropes, and both guys ended up doing a double clothesline. So both Carmelo Hayes and Jimmy were down. Both guys slowly got to their feet. Carmelo Hayes delivered a chop to Jimmy's chest. Hayes ended up going to the ropes, and Jimmy delivered a pop-up Samoan drop to Carmelo Hayes. So Jimmy ended up going for the cover, and Carmelo Hayes ended up kicking out. We had Jimmy end up going up to the top rope, and he went for the Uso splash, but Carmelo Hayes delivered the first 48 in midair, which was great. So Carmelo Hayes ended up going for the cover, and Jimmy ended up kicking out. So at the end of the match, we had Jimmy end up going for another Samoan drop. Carmelo Hayes ended up delivering a crucifix cover, but Jimmy ended up kicking out. Jimmy then delivered a spear to Carmelo Hayes. He ended up climbing up to the top rope. But we saw Jacob Fatu. He was standing on the opposite side of the ring. Tama Tonga then ended up pushing Jimmy down off the top rope. The ref called for the bell, so Jimmy Uso won the match by disqualification. So post-match, Jacob Fatu delivered a running hip attack in the corner to Jimmy. Tama Tonga delivered a jumping DDT to Jimmy. Carmelo Hayes then got to his feet. Hayes was shown standing next to Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu then clotheslined Carmelo Hayes down. And Jacob Fatu delivered another running hip attack in the corner onto Jimmy. And this led to Solo Sikoa coming out. And that was how SmackDown went to commercial. But overall, good match between Jimmy Uso and Carmelo Hayes. But obviously you knew that the Bloodline was going to get involved in the match at some point. So then as SmackDown came back from the commercial, we had Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga. They were in the ring. Jacob Fatu ended up yelling at the crowd. He told the crowd to shut the hell up, or they will leave the same way the Chargers left the city. So Solo Sikoa held up the mic, and the crowd was booing at Sikoa. Carmelo Hayes, Solo Sikoa said nothing. He just held the mic out and dropped the mic onto the canvas. Solo Sikoa left the ring. He took off his red jacket and he walked through the crowd, and Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga were standing in the ring. So Solo Sikoa is embarrassed that he is no longer the tribal chief after the tribal combat match with Roman Reigns on the first Monday Night Raw on Netflix. So Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga looked at each other in the ring. Fatu grabbed the mic, and he kept saying, "This is what it comes to? This is it?" Fatu ended up saying that he is tired of the disrespect, and that he is tired of the hate, of the envy. He ended up saying, but envy him all you want. Even on his worst day, you can't touch him. He ended up saying that he doesn't care if they cheer them or boo them. But one thing he won't let them do is to act like he never got his. So Fatu ended up telling the crowd if they thought he was crazy or off the hinges, the crazy thing about this situation is that he is just getting started. So Fatu ended up dropping the mic, and LA Knight, yeah, he ended up making his way out. LA Knight ended up attacking both Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga from behind. Knight delivered some right hands to Jacob Fatu, but Fatu ended up delivering a run takedown onto Knight. So both Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu double teamed up on LA Knight. And this led to Braun Strowman coming out. Braun Strowman made his way out. Tama Tonga jumped over the top rope to take out Braun Strowman, but Strowman caught Tama Tonga, and he threw him into the barricade. Strowman got into the ring, and Strowman and Jacob Fatu were face to face. And everybody's been craving to see Strowman versus Jacob Fatu. And we're finally going to get the match. It was confirmed later on in the night that next Saturday at Saturday night's main event, we're going to see Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu. Take my money. That's going to be a very good match between Strowman and Jacob Fatu. So Strowman and Jacob Fatu were face to face. Looked like they were going to deck it out, but Tama Tonga dragged Jacob Fatu out of the ring. And pretty much that was basically that. But all this was to set up, Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman at Saturday night's main event. I was thinking maybe they were going to do a tag team match with Braun Strowman and LA Knight taking on Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga, which that might possibly happen after Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu at Saturday night's main event. Probably next week we'll get that tag team match. Who knows? Who knows? And then we had the Motor City Machine Guns. They end up taking on Los Garza, Angel Garza, and Humberto. And this was a decent match here. Match got underway. We had Alex Shelley and Angel Garza start off the match. Garza ended up delivering a right hand to Alex Shelley. Angel then tagged Humberto in. So Los Garza ended up double teaming up on Alex Shelley. Humberto ended up going for the cover. Alex Shelley ended up kicking out. Humberto ended up grabbing Shelley, but Shelley delivered some chops to Humberto's chest. He then tagged in Chris Sabin. Los Garza delivered a double back body drop onto Chris Sabin. Angel Garza then got into the ring, and they double teamed up on Chris Sabin. We had Chris Sabin end up delivering a snapmare onto Humberto, which was followed by a chin lock. Humberto was thrown into the ropes, and Angel Garza ended up taking himself in. He got into the ring, and both Los Garza ended up taking Chris Sabin down. Angel Garza then connected with a running knee onto Chris Sabin. So then SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, both Los Garza, they were double teaming up on Chris Sabin. Humberto ended up going for the cover, and Chris Sabin ended up kicking out. We had later on Motor City Machine Guns end up getting both Los Garza in figure 4 leg locks. But Humberto made it to the ropes. Alex Shelley ended up grabbing Humberto by his leg. Humberto ended up pushing Alex Shelley away, and he slammed Alex Shelley onto the canvas. We had Los Garza end up double teaming up on the Motor City Machine Guns, slammed them both onto the canvas. Garza ended up going for the cover onto Alex Shelley, but Alex Shelley ended up kicking out. So we had Pretty Deadly end up getting on the ring apron. Elton Prince distracted the ref, and that broke up the cover. And the Motor City Machine Guns end up taking advantage of that. And the Motor City Machine Guns end up landing the Skull and Bones. And there you go. The Motor City Machine Guns ended up winning the match. Overall, decent match it was. Decent tag team match. And now we had Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis was backstage, and he stopped Kevin Owens. Nick Aldis ended up telling Owens that he needs him to sign an addendum into his contract. Owens ended up telling Nick Aldis that Cody didn't sign it, and he won't sign it until Cody does. He had to tell Nick Aldis that he has a match, and that he won't read it now. Pretty much, that was basically that. Then we had Piper Niven versus B-Fab. This was useless. This was awful. Piper Niven ended up winning the match. Piper Niven lifted B-Fab up, landed a pop-up driver, and that was that. B-Fab is terrible in the ring. Awful. Post-match, Chelsea Green got into the ring. Both Chelsea and Piper Niven ended up double teaming up on B-Fab. Michin ended up coming out. She had a kendo stick in hand. Michin ended up swinging the kendo stick at Piper Niven. Piper Niven then grabbed the kendo stick from Michin. Piper ended up going to swing the kendo stick at Michin, but Michin ended up hitting Piper in the face. So Chelsea and Piper Niven ended up rolling to the outside of the ring, and pretty much that was basically that. Useless. Useless fucking match this was. The crowd didn't even give one single shit. Moving on. Byron Saxton. He was backstage with Tiffany Stratton. And Byron ended up telling Tiffany that tonight she defends her Women's Championship for the first time. Tiffany Stratton ended up telling Byron Saxton that she heard Bayley, and she is right. She had big moments last year, but so has she. Stratton ended up saying that she became the youngest Miss Money in the Bank, and is now the Women's Champion. She ended up saying that she does not have to recreate those moments, because right now, she is that moment. She ended up saying right now, it's Tiffy time, and that was basically that. Then we had Rey Mysterio. He ended up taking on Kevin Owens, which was a very good match here. And we saw, the former Women's Champion, Victoria. She was in attendance. It was good to see her, there in the crowd. It's been a while since we've seen her on WWE television. So the match got underway. Owens delivered a kick to Rey, which was followed up by an armbar, but Rey threw Owens into the ropes. Owens delivered a shoulder block onto Rey, and Rey ended up falling to the outside of the ring. Rey got back into the ring. Both Rey and Owens were exchanging reverse holds. Rey delivered a twisting hurricanrana, which was followed up by a forearm to Owens' face. Rey ended up going to the ropes, and he ended up going for another hurricanrana. But Owens ended up slamming Rey onto the canvas. Owens delivered a senton to Rey. He then slammed Rey into the turnbuckle and over to the outside. Owens then delivered a forearm to Rey's face, but Rey delivered some kicks to Owens. He then got into the ring apron, and he jumped onto Owens. He threw Owens into the barricade. Rey then came back into the ring and delivered a sliding splash onto Owens, who was down. So then SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, Kevin Owens was in control of the match. He up run towards Rey in the corner. Rey moved out of the way, and Owens went shoulder first into the ring post. Rey then climbed the top rope, and he landed a seated senton on Owens. He went for the cover, and Owens ended up kicking out. Rey was about to go for the 619, but Owens delivered a kick to Rey's face. Owens ended up going for a pop-up powerbomb, but Ray reversed that and he delivered a DDT to Owens. He went for the cover and Owens ended up kicking out. So you had Owens ended up going up to the top. He delivered a frog splash. He ended up going for the cover and Ray kicked out. So we had Ray end up getting his knees up as Owens ended up climbing the top rope. He ended up going for the senton, but that was how Ray got his knees up. And Owens ended up leaning on the second rope. Ray then ended up hitting Owens with the 619. And he climbed to the top rope. Owens got to his feet and he tumbled onto the ref, who was leaning on the ropes. And Ray ended up falling to the canvas. And that led to Owens delivering the pop-up powerbomb. He went for the cover. And there you go. Kevin Owens ends up winning the match. And Ray takes a loss in his hometown. Post-match, Kevin Owens helped Ray get back up. Owens then ended up shaking Ray's hand. And he ended up going for the package pile driver to Ray. But Cody Rhodes ended up coming out. Cody and Kevin Owens delivered some right hands. Cody ended up getting Owens on the canvas. And he began to stomp on Owens. And of course, officials, they were out there quick in 1 second. And the officials ended up breaking things up between Cody and Owens. Cody then ended up sliding to the outside. He ran to the other side of the ring. Both Cody and Owens were fighting towards the commentary table. Owens then grabbed the Winged Eagle title, and he left through the crowd. Owens then stood on stage equipment as he raised the Winged Eagle title in the air, and he looked at Cody Rhodes. But overall, very good match between Kevin Owens and Rey Mysterio here, and really I'm liking this feud between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. They're doing, I think, a very good job with it. Then we had Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis was with Cody Rhodes. Nick Aldis ended up saying that he tried to be patient, but enough is enough. He ended up saying that him and Kevin Owens are out of control. So Nick Aldis ended up saying that next week at Saturday night's main event, Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes will both relinquish their championship belts to be suspended in the air at the Royal Rumble, and they will sign the contract. Nick Aldis ended up saying to Cody that someone else will moderate that contract signing in San Antonio. And I'm like, oh, I know where this is going. They're going to get Shawn Michaels. And of course, that's when Nick Aldis ended up announcing the contract signing will be moderated by the showstopper, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, the guy who was running NXT. There you go, Shawn Michaels will be, appearing next week at Saturday night's main event. And then we saw Pretty Deadly, Pretty Awful. They were backstage and they got stopped by DIY, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, the tag team champions. So both Pretty Deadly and DIY were arguing about how their plan didn't work out. Ciampa then called Pretty Deadly a joke, and that everyone is laughing at them. So Ciampa ended up saying that if they want a shot at their tag titles, they have to act like men. So Ciampa was like to Gargano, please handle this. So Gargano ended up telling Pretty Deadly to chin up, and they'll see them next week. So DIY then walked away, and then in came Apollo Crews, and Pretty Deadly ended up walking away. Johnny Gargano then ended up attacking Apollo Crews, and he threw Apollo Crews into some equipment backstage. And pretty much that was basically that. Main event. The Women's Championship on the line. Tiffany Stratton defended the title against Bayley. Very good entertaining match this was between Stratton and Bayley. They had some good chemistry in this match here. Of course, Roxanne Perez was in attendance. Roxanne Perez, of course, NXT superstar. On last Tuesday's NXT, we saw Roxanne Perez and Bayley in the ring, where Perez ended up slapping Bayley. Bayley ended up taking down Roxanne Perez. I know that they're going to probably have a match together at a NXT. So the match got underway. Both Stratton and Bayley were exchanging reversals, and they ended up getting to their feet. Bayley delivered Snapmare. She ended up running to the ropes, but Stratton ended up delivering a shoulder tackle to Bayley. Stratton ended up throwing Bayley into the corner, but Bayley delivered an elbow to Stratton's face. We had Bayley end up going for the cover on Stratton. Stratton ended up kicking out. Bayley then clotheslined Stratton to the outside. So then SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, Bayley was in control of the match. She ended up delivering a drop kick under the bottom rope onto Stratton. Stratton was, of course, on the outside. Bayley ended up going for another drop kick to Stratton, but Stratton moved out of the way. Stratton then ended up pulling Bayley arm first into the ring post. Stratton threw Bayley into the ring. She ended up going for the cover, and Bayley ended up kicking out. Stratton then threw Bayley onto the ring apron. She tripped Bayley up, and Bayley ended up going face first onto the ring apron. Stratton ended up going for the cover, and Bayley kicked out. We had Bayley end up slamming Stratton face first onto the ring apron, and she ended up going for the cover, and Stratton ended up kicking out. We had Bayley end up kicking Stratton down to the outside. Bayley ended up going for a suicide dive, but Stratton delivered a right hand to Bayley. Bayley was shown hanging on the side of the ring. Stratton ended up delivering a hip attack, and Bayley's head ended up hitting the side of the ring, which that had to hurt there. Stratton ended up getting back in the ring. She jumped toward Bayley, but Bayley caught Stratton, and she delivered the Bayley to belly to Stratton. So then SmackDown went to commercial again. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, we saw Stratton and Bayley. They were fighting on the second rope. Bayley delivered a suplex to Stratton. She ended up going for the cover, but Stratton ended up kicking out. We had Bayley ended up climbing the second rope, but Stratton ended up slamming Bayley's arm up on the top rope. Bayley then fell onto the canvas. Stratton then climbed up to the top rope. She landed the swanton on Bayley. And then Stratton delivered the powerbomb onto Bayley. She went for the cover, and Bayley ended up kicking out. You had Bayley end up getting in Roxanne Perez's face, who, of course, was at ringside. And then she turned back to Tiffany. She turned back to Stratton. Bayley ended up throwing Stratton back into the ring. Bayley ended up climbing the top rope. She ended up landing the elbow drop onto Stratton. She ended up going for the cover, and Stratton ended up kicking out. You had, at the end of the match, you had Bayley end up going for the roast plant, but Stratton ended up delivering a cartwheel Alabama slam. She then headed up to the top rope, landed the prettiest moonsault ever. Stratton ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Tiffany Stratton ended up winning the match, retaining the Women's Championship. Obviously, not surprised there. So, that was how SmackDown went off the air. Overall, very good match between Tiffany Stratton and Bayley. It was very physical matchup here. They had good chemistry in the ring together. But overall, SmackDown, okay show it was tonight. But, like I said, like the pacing of the show, it just felt boring. It felt 3 hours. Just the pacing, needs to get a little bit better. But, yeah, these shows, the third week in a row, it already feels like 3 hours. Like it's dragging. But, anyway, that's it for the SmackDown review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. And until next video, I'll see you all later.